Yes, good morning, students. Today I want to take Unit 4th regarding evidences from embryology in organic evolution. Or this evidences from the embryology can be taken as the recapitulation theory, or otherwise called as biogenetic law. As you know that what is embryology and how we can take the evidences from the embryology. Now this embryology is the study of, can say, it's a branch of biology which deals with the formation of embryo and its early development of an organism is called as an embryology. Is a very important branch of, can say, generally biology. As you know that the the first person, Ernest Haeckel, considered as father of embryology, and the second, you can know, the Vance Bear, considered as the father of modern embryology or recent embryology. That. So, according to the Von Baer observations and his considerations, the sequence of developmental stages of some animals, and this developmental stages of different types of animals, and the recapitulation of the ancestral features during its embryonic, can say, development. So now, as far as the Von Baer studied embryology of different vertebrates, like a fish, a salamander, a tortoise, a chick, and a man. According to the Von Baer, he observed that in all the vertebrates, that early embryos of the above said animals resembles each other and very closely related, and their developmental forms and developmental stages almost the same during the entire development. So with this we can conclude that the organism have evolved, you can say, not at a time, or not suddenly, but they have been evolved one after the other, are completing the processing, and this processing is not all of a sudden, but it is just a gradual one, bit by bit. So with this we conclude that all multicellular organisms, that begins with single cell stage. Among all the stages, you got the very early stage, the initiating stage of development, is forms with egg, or just again the sperms and all that, they get fertilized, and after the process of the fertilization is over, it leads to the subsequent stage called morula, and this morula is almost a 8-cell stage that develops into a single, can say, and layer stage. After that it forms as a blastula stage. The blastula is followed by gastrulation by means of a process called as gastrulation process, and finally formation of, can say, generally embryonic layers or germinal layers, we call as the formation of ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderms are forms, and the fate map is decided, and that fate map leads into the early development and adult. So all the stages, almost what the stages I have mentioned, all the stages are there in every organisms, right from the invertebrates to that of, can say, the vertebrates. But as far as multicellular organisms are concerned, these stages are more prominent and more, more, can say, clear and distinguished, and as further the histological studies are concerned, that give a lot of information regarding these early developments. So this theory are so called as the theory of recapitulation. And you know, the theory of recapitulation, that repeats all the an organism or an animal repeats all the ancestral features, the very early features of an organism. And that's what the theory is said to be, the recapitulation theory, or the biogenetic law, or the law which is present biologically or genetically in organisms. So the Ernest Haeckel, he states that that is then saying ontogeny repeats the phylogeny, or phylogeny repeats the ontogeny. So which means that the developmental history of an organism, the developmental development of an organism, that repeats the evolutionary history of its ancestors. So what the ancestors and predecessors, that will be there, and that's what it's a routine form during the development of an organisms. For example, I want to code two most prominent examples, like tadpole of the frog. When you take a tadpole of the frog, see, the tadpole of the frog exactly resembles to a fish, the entire fish, and both externally and also internally, morphological as well as anatomical. It possesses, when you want to see a tadpole of the frog, he used to have a long, can say, a tail, presence of gills for respiration, and two-chambered heart. But later on, after the evolution is over, after the entire development is over, the entire life history is over, later it get metamorphosed, and then it converts into, it transforms into the adult. So in case of insects also, we can see that you take as a caterpillar larva of a butterfly, which also recapitulates its ancestral forms. Okay.